Good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Make sure you get over to jerichogreen.net. Once a week, I do exclusive videos just for my website. And tomorrow, I'm going to record a video for said website about a second grade class in Florida that took a field trip to a gay bar. Yes, there's that website, Something B, where the headlines are obviously satirical. They're just kidding. But 2 years ago, they said, oh, California school takes second graders to gay bar for a field trip. Now, 2 years later, it's really happening. jerichogreen.net. So, folks, the world is literally becoming unhinged. Supply chains are breaking down and critical shortages are showing up left and right. People can sense that the other shoe is about to drop. They're ordering emergency food like crazy, which means you should too before you can't get any. I'm talking about the high quality emergency food you get from My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's leading preparedness company, and they've served millions of American families. Now, they want to help you by giving you $100 off of their best-selling 3-month emergency food kit. This food stays fresh for up to 25 years in proper storage, so it will be there when you need it. And the meals in this food kit average over 2,000 calories per day. So don't wait. Go to preparewithjericho.com and claim your 3-month emergency food kit while you still can. You'll save $100 per kit if you act now. That's preparewithjericho.com. There continues to be a surge of orders. Make sure yours is one of them. preparewithjericho.com. So there's a couple things I want to talk about here, and they tie together, but it's sad, it's disgusting, and I'm wondering how. So first, if you go to, and I'll put a link in the description box here, but it's up on my Instagram page at JG Talk, and there's this Twix commercial. Now, makes sense. Halloween's coming up. Twix, trick or treat candy, kids. I get it. So you're thinking they're going to have some commercial that's related to Halloween, right? The actual product, Twix. It's not too far-fetched to think that a company that makes a commercial for their product will feature their product, right? Wrong. Remember Charlie Murphy was talking about Rick James? He said, wrong. Rick James is a habitual line stepper. R.I.P. Charlie Murphy. So if you think that, you are wrong. Because in this commercial, they don't show the product until the very end. And if you didn't know going into it that it was a commercial for Twix, you would have no idea. It doesn't show the product. It doesn't mention the product. It just talks about Halloween. So the commercial is of this kid that's sitting in the living room, and the doorbell rings or whatever, and the kid goes to the door and answers the door. And at the door is this teenage, upper teen, maybe 18, 19, maybe 20-year-old at the most, girl who's there to babysit him or his nanny or whatever. And the girl looks kind of creepy. She's dressed like a witch. She looks like Morticia from the Addams Family, but she looks like a witch, all black lipstick, real emo, all sad teenager makeup looking and shit. And the kid closes the door. And then the girl appears in the house. She's actually a real witch. So the kid is sitting there, and the babysitter's like, oh, you want to go to the park? And the little kid gets up, and they're wearing a dress. And then you go through the commercial more, and you realize that it's a little boy in a dress. Now let's back up a second. In the beginning of the commercial, the kid is home by himself. You don't hear, Tommy, who is it? From the back room, nothing. This kid is sitting there by himself watching TV in the living room with no parents home. So then the parents leave and be like, hey, we're going to take off, but the nanny's going to be here pretty soon. And the kid can't be more than 9 years old. So what parent is going to leave their kid at home to meet the nanny by themselves? And what parent would hire a nanny that looks like this? This commercial does not take place on Halloween Day. Later in the commercial, one of the kids tells the other kid, it's not even Halloween yet. Why are you dressed like that? So it's not like on Halloween Day, the babysitter shows up in her costume. That's one thing. So this is a real witch who's going to be the babysitter for this little boy who's wearing a fucking princess dress. So they decide to go to the park. And when they get to the park, what happens? This little representative for toxic masculinity and non-acceptance comes up to the little boy and he's like, "Why are you wearing that dress? You're weird. You look like a girl." Yeah, any kid is going to say that to you on the playground because even kids know little boys aren't supposed to wear dresses. But when you have parents that care more about getting their back patted by their virtue signaling pervert friends, this is what you get. A kid who's home by himself who gets watched by a fucking weirdo. So they go to the park and the little boy says, "Why are you dressed like that? You look weird. You're not even a girl." So then the witch gets mad because maybe she was picked on too when she was a kid. So she goes, gets all pissed, and the wind starts blowing. And then the little kid, I'm not going to use the B word like they want me to, but the little kid who's picking on the other little kid, he gets blown. He just disappears. The wind blows real hard and then he's gone. And then the little boy's like, "Is he going to come back?" And the nanny witch is like, I don't know, maybe. We better get out of here. So then they just take off. I don't know what happened to that kid, but apparently if you don't agree with somebody's dress choices, how they dress or whatever, if you don't agree with their life, then you should be done away with. Not to mention that was a kid. How about witch, babysitter? How about you take this as an opportunity to try to teach that kid or just say, "Let's get out of here"? I wouldn't even been okay with her saying, "Hey, shut up, you little bastard." But instead they chose violence. She did away with that little boy because he didn't agree with this little boy wearing a dress, which most people shouldn't. Why are you putting your little boy in a dress? You know what he's going to encounter out in the world? Or how about this word? It's the same in English and Spanish. No, I'm not buying you a dress because you're a boy. No, I'm not going to buy you a dress because that's weird. And you will get picked on if you take your ass out of this house in a dress. And then at the very end, then it's all Twix. You're like, what did that have to do with Twix? It had nothing to do with Twix. It's about indoctrinating your children. Why else would a candy company make a commercial like this? Adults aren't sitting around watching candy commercials. Kids are. That's why on Cartoon Network and stuff, or Nickelodeon kids-based programming, that's where you see all of the commercials for the new toys, because they know the kids are going to go to their parents and say, "Can I have that new toy?" So same thing, if you show your children these images, the kids are going to think, "This is how I'm supposed to be." It's perverted, it's evil, and it's disgusting. If a girl showed up to my house to ask me to be a babysitter for my kids, and she looked like Morticia, and it's not October 31st, you need to bust a U on my porch and get the hell up out of here. You look like a weirdo. I'm not leaving you with my kids. But like I said, if you didn't know this was a Twix commercial going into it, you wouldn't know until the end. So what's their objective? To pervert and indoctrinate our kids. They're going after them because they're soft targets. They don't have life experience to know these people are full of shit and I need to look out for them. And if you couple that with stupid ass parents who are asleep at the damn wheel, like the ones who would leave their kid alone for the babysitter to come get, this is what we have. Also, I normally say California won't be out stupid, but boy, America is making a strong case for second place. So now, I've heard of this as early as a couple years ago, maybe 2019, 2020, talking about having America adding a third gender to the passports. Yes, the passport, that official federal document. Now it's not just going to have male or female. Now it's going to have a X gender for those who don't identify with a male or a female. And it's from a lawsuit that was brought in 2015 by someone named Dana Zim. I'm assuming that you pronounce it Zim because it's spelled ZZYYM. Is how you spell this grown adult's last name. And when you look at the picture of Dana, it's exactly what you think she's going to look like. Or him. Trying to look like her. It's like a buzz haircut, like a high fade, and it's like dyed purple. Why do they always look like shit? They put no effort into their appearance. He just dyed his hair purple and put on some earrings. You look terrible. But it's shit like this. Now, on an official document, federal document, now it's going to have an X for an option. Did you know that transgender people are 0.5% of the population? 0.5%. 325 million people in this country, 1.4 million of them identify as transgender / non-binary. I know some of these non-binary people. They got some fucked up shit going on in their life. It usually stems from childhood. We cannot allow people with mental issues to make policy for the general public. It doesn't work that way. Would you let somebody with schizophrenia make policies for your family? No, you wouldn't. Because they have a mental issue. Same kind of thing. I'm not saying it's as severe as schizophrenia, but it's a mental disorder. 0.5% of the population. Yet they're loud enough to get a third gender option on an American passport. And of course, we're the first ones to do it. Of course, no other country is doing this shit. We're the first ones. How did this happen so quickly? How does such a tiny portion of the population make policy? I don't understand that shit. You don't even know what you want to be, and you're going to tell me what we need to be? Look, you are a male or a female in the general public. Out in the community, there are a set of rules that we need to play by. And because you feel a certain way, doesn't mean we have to acknowledge that and shape society according to your distorted view. What about these weird ass people, these weird motherfuckers who are adults and they want to be babies? So what, every restaurant is supposed to start carrying these giant ass high chairs for these big crazy bastards? No. We look at them and say, you're crazy. We're not doing that. We are the general public. Society is not where you go for acceptance. There needs to be the world's largest road trip. All these people with these problems that stem from their childhood, their daddy didn't hug them, get in the car, drive wherever you are, drive coast to coast, or from the middle of the country, pick a coast with your dad and fix this shit so we can get back on track, so we can get back to being number one, so we can get back to having 2 genders on a passport. What kind of sick shit is this? I don't care how you identify. That's in your private life, not out here, not in the community pool. Crazy ass shit. Because somebody brought a lawsuit. So this person can bring a lawsuit and get a third gender option added to the passport. If I'm getting this correctly. So this person can sue to get something changed on a passport. That is a very important document. But let's say you get the poke, you can't turn around and sue these companies. Make that shit make sense. Let me get the hell up out of here with my beautiful wife and kids. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Make sure you utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over to jerichogreen.net. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.